the report, but they are again reaffirming that it is not enough for viability. Now, the funniest part is, leave aside all those issues, economically viable, who will buy, even if you leave all those issues and say, okay, for densification, you have increased the FSI, then is there any study which says that yes, with densification, the ridership will improve? It's not there. Now, why it will not improve is a very logical reason, right? Now, if you see the entire corridor, it is all the highly priced properties in Pune. Already, it's absolutely almost impossible for middle class or common citizens to buy property along this corridor. Now, you are saying 4 FSI at a premium, so it is going to be costing much more than the present property rates. So, suppose you are going to buy this sort of property there, who will buy? Any common citizens who are potential public transport users, whether they will be able to afford? No. So they will not be buying. So whoever buys or they remain vacant. So actually, how much of that increased population, whatever it is going to use the metro? According to me, is almost virtually nil. So densification along metro corridor will not increase metro ridership. So the first reason is absolutely impractical. It's not happening. It's not happening. The second reason is to raise funds for metro. That is what PMC is saying. Surprisingly, DMRC in their report are not saying that this is a means for raising funds. They have clearly stated we have not considered increased FSI premium funds in our costing, in our FIR, in our funding plan. Nowhere they have considered. So they are not treating it as a funding option. DMRC also. But पुणे आता ऍक्च्युअली ते आले डीएमआरसीच्या रिपोर्टमध्ये, पण त्याच्यानंतर त्याच्यात त्यांनी डेन्सिफिकेशन साठी दिले ते, पण त्याचा असा उपयोग करून घ्यायची आयडिया ही नक्की सुपीक एवढी डोके आपल्या इथेच असणार, एवढी सुपीक डोके तिथे नसणार. तर त्याचा उपयोग त्याने असा केला आहे की टू रेज फंड्स फॉर मेट्रो, सो सेल ऑफ ऍडिशनल एफएसआय ॲट अ प्रीमियम. नाउ द क्वेश्चन्स हियर आर दिस. फंडिंग प्लॅन आता जो डीएमआरसीने दिलाय त्याच्यात तरी कुठे त्यांनी ऍडिशनल एफएसआयचं प्रीमियम भरलेलं नाहीये. त्यामुळे त्यांनी जे काही फंडिंग प्लॅन दिलाय तो तर इरेस्पेक्टिव्ह ऑफ 4 एफएसआय. मग तो प्लॅन अजून तुमचा नक्की नाही, कॉर्पोरेशनचाही प्लॅन अजून फायनल नाहीये. देयर इज नो आयडिया अबाउट फंड्स रिक्वायर्ड फ्रॉम सोर्सेस लाईक 4 एफएसआय. 4 एफएसआय पासून तुम्हाला किती फंड, पण ठीक आहे तुम्हाला आता किती लागणार आहे? कॉर्पोरेशन इज नो आन्सर. 1000 कोटी काय म्हणू, व्हॉट यू टू नीड आउट ऑफ द 10,000 crore जर तुम्ही कॉस्ट म्हटली तर 10% लागणार आहे, 5% लागणार आहे, काही दे डोंट नो. So there is no basis for taking decision about 4 FSI which has potential to raise tens of thousands of crore. म्हणजे आज किती 10,000 कोटी जर पेट्रोलची ह्यांची कॉस्ट आहे, तर डीएमआरसी रिपोर्ट मध्ये जे एस्टिमेट दिलंय ते चुकीचं आहे. ते अतिशय अंडर आणि कमी दिलेलं आहे. त्यांनी 1000 स्क्वेअर फूट 1000 रुपये पर स्क्वेअर फूट लँड कॉस्ट दिलेली आहे. त्या 1000 स्क्वेअर फूटनी म्हणजे ते 10,000 रुपीज पर स्क्वेअर मीटर. They have considered as the cost of FSI, which is, you know what, is it true or not? With that also, आणि ह्या जे सगळं येणार आहे, याच्यामुळे जे काही FSI तयार होणार आहे, त्याच्या 50% फक्त वापरला गेला. आणि तो फुल 4 नाही, कारण काही ठिकाणी TDR वापरलेला असतो. म्हणजे ऑलरेडी सगळीकडे काही पूर्ण 3 FSI किंवा उपलब्ध होत नाही, कारण TDR असतो, कुठले तरी अजून FSI वापरलेले असतात. त्याच्याही परत 60% केलं. म्हणजे हाफ ऑफ दॅट 60% of that at 1,000 rupees per square foot. एवढ्या याच्याने सुद्धा एक अंदाज जो डीएमआरसीच्या रिपोर्ट मध्ये दिला तो 38,000 कोटी रुपये as premium from FSI. Actually, it is going to be multiples of that if this scheme then works. म्हणजे हे सांगायचं म्हणजे I was trying to show the fallacies of it.
पण 2 स्क्वेअर मीटर पर कॅपिटा स्पेस तुला तर मिळणार आहे. तुला मोठ पुराडा मिळणार आहे.
प्रश्न तो नाही आहे. 2 स्क्वेअर मीटर नाही, तिथे 3 आणि 4 स्क्वेअर फुटाचे फ्लॅट होते.
नाही होणार.
होणार तेवढंच होणार. 500 स्क्वेअर फुटाचा फ्लॅट कोण बांधणार आहे प्रीमियम एफएसआय घेऊन?
I happened to read one of the Marathi versions of whatever papers were circulating. Whoever's lands or bungalows or whatever is going to be taken over for that FSI, those people are not even going to get a real share of their property price. That from the 4 FSI, 2 is going for the development to the construction company, 1 the municipal corporation keeping, and only 1 is being offered to the. So there will be millions of cases being.
Yeah, will be a lot of issues coming up. We will come to that because there are a lot of ambiguities and this thing about the whole thing. Now see, And the third important point is that will it be possible for PMC to provide the necessary infrastructure, services, amenities as per standards for this additional FSI? So okay, everything is done. FSI is employed, the buildings stand up. Is the water, drainage, electricity, solid waste management, the roads, the open spaces, the garden, the education institutions, whatever, all are required as per standards, will PMC be able to do when they have not been able to do for the present city with one FSI? So there is a huge backlog even for providing the infrastructure for the present city with one FSI, and how they are going to do that. That's a very important point. So answer can only be no as PMC is unable to provide basic facilities for the city even with the present low FSI. And there are 34 villages that are going to get attached. So you can imagine how much the area is becoming double now. So how they are going to do it? There is no answer. They have not done any study how much they will require. So actually this is the biggest proposal that has come in the history of Pune. And it will be the most devastating proposal. So, but the least we expected is that okay, they should appoint some experts, make a total master plan for the area, how they are going to do it, how they are going to arrange for water. Now we are facing water scarcity even today. So suppose, assuming that sort of densification happens, then what sort of disaster it will be? So that has to be imagined. So what is the PMC proposal? She's talking. So actually there are two things. This is a very interesting thing. There are two documents. One is the draft DP that you must have heard of, and maybe some of you may have gone for the hearings also of the draft DP 2007 to 2027. So that draft DP is a valid document which is in the public domain, on which hearings have just recently completed last month. So the 4FSI proposal appears in that draft DP. Now they have issued another public notice on 11th of July for the same reason. So it is already there, but they have issued a public notice. And the funniest part is there is a discrepancy. There is a lot of discrepancies between the same provisions in the two documents. So basic proposal, as she is saying, is no construction zone up to 10 meters on both sides, 4 FSI up to 500 meters, what they call as a metro influence zone. And important point is they are saying that this metro influence zone is not final. Because whenever the final design is ready and the alignment is prepared, after that it will be final. So they are asking objections and suggestions from we all today, without telling us actually what the metro influence zone will be, whether our property will be in the zone or out of the zone. So today it may be there and tomorrow in the final alignment it may not be there. Or today it may not be there and tomorrow it may come. So on what basis should property owners take decisions? And on what basis they should give their suggestions, objections, which could be area specific. Because they have clearly stated metro influence zone shall vary as per actual final alignment of metro.
Every drawing says that.
So it's very funny.
But development plan cannot have something which is not final.
Yeah, so these are the very funny situations. We should call them funny only because they are hilarious only because this is a document under the Maharashtra Regional Town Planning Act, and they are playing such games with that. So NOC. Another important thing is NOC of metro SPV is required for development in metro influence. This is a very dangerous clause. So they say that within this 500 meters on both sides, if you want to carry out any development, you have to take an NOC from the metro special purpose vehicle, that is the metro company that will be formed, Pune Metro Rail Corporation or whatever it is will be called. So you have to take a no objection certificate. Why the citizens should take a no objection certificate from a company, a metro company? So that is the clause there. So they have created a new power center, that is the metro SP. And surprisingly, the premium of this additional FSI is also going to be collected by the metro SPV. So you can see how powerful that entity is going to become. It will have the power to give NOC. It will have to give power to collect the premium. So it is going to be a super PMC, a super over and above the PMC. A new entity is going to come out. And it will have no accountability to citizens. That is most important. That will be a company formed under the Companies Act or whatever, and it will have no accountability to the citizens. So that is a very dangerous situation according to me. And then there are special powers given to municipal commissioners. So what are those special powers? They say that in order to make use of that 4 FSI, suppose if you have a plot and because of certain reasons, the size of the plot or the nature of the plot or roads or anything, you are unable to use the 4 FSI. Then the special powers are given to the commissioner. he can waive all conditions, all bylaws, all rules, and so that you are able to use the 4FSI. So this is a very dangerous, all totally arbitrary powers to the commissioner. He can overrule any rules, existing rules. Relax provisions means overruling. They have used the word relax provisions. So, and even height of the building, side margins, everything he can relax. Just to facilitate 4FSI, meaning full use of 4FSI. So that is another thing. The rule shall be applicable for all future metro corridors. That is another thing. So they have said that all those rules will get applicable to future metro corridors. We don't know what the future are. So right now we don't know the present also, but we are talking about the future. And they are saying that these rules will be applicable to the future metro corridors. They will not invite any objection, suggestion at that point of time. This will be sort of a draconian rule under which any metro corridor sanctioned in Pune in the unlimited future is going to get under these rules. Now, what is the metro influence area? Area is about 2600 hectares. You can imagine what is the scale of that. Why I said about, about 5 to 6 kilometers are in the PCMC area. So that is not coming under PMC. So if you exclude that, 31.5 kilometer is the total length of the metro corridor. So out of that, if you deduct say 5.5 kilometers in the PCMC area, so that remains 26 kilometers. 1 kilometer is the patch, so 26 into 1, 26 square kilometers, that is 2600 hectares. So that is how that 2600 hectares has come about. So that is the total, it's a vast tract of land and it is a narrow stretch, but it is 2600 hectares. And we just said that okay, even if we consider 2.5 additional FSI as an average, because where there is 1, there will be 3, where there is 2, there will be 2. So if we consider even the average 2.5, it comes to 700 million square feet of FSI will be available. 700 million square feet of FSI will get generated out of it at a conservative estimate. And the premium will, that can, potential, not that actually it will be used, but there is a potential. And the premium will run into tens of thousands of, we don't know how much, crore rupees. So that is.
So the property price will crash down. Right?
Yeah.
It will go down like anything, everything.
See, and then there are certain things, other important things in this 4FSI proposal. What is the milestone? Somebody is asking when it is going to get implemented. So the milestone for applicability of 4FSI regulations as per draft DC rules, in the draft DC rules with the DP, it is written applicable after sanction of regulations. So just when the regulations get sanctioned, irrespective of the metro, this 4FSI will start. So whether the metro comes or not, this is going to come. But public notice they have made a change. I don't know why. Public notice they say applicable on commencement of metro construction work.
Oh, I see.
And there again, metro commencement work, they have not given any definition. What is the metro commencement? Bhumi Pujan ho gaya to ho gaya metro start. Or tender float, is it metro start? Or tender award, it is metro start. Or Bhumi Pujan is metro start. They are not defined what is commencement of metro construction work, because I would say that Bhumi Pujan they will treat as commencement. So this is the milestone. And for future corridors, what milestones they are given? As per draft DC rules, applicable after 5 years from sanction of regulations. So there they are saying applicable after sanction of regulations for present corridors and for future corridors, applicable after 5 years. So after 5 years, whether the future metro corridors come or not, automatically those rules get applied. So it's so dangerous provision. So irrespective of future corridors, this it automatically gets applied after 5 years. And as per public notice, they are going still, it's very vague, applicable to every corridor sanctioned in due course. This is the public notice. So no specific timeline given.
No course.
It's not about FSL.
So what are the conditions? Now conditions are minimum, as she was talking, 0.2 hectares, which comes to about 21,500 square feet. That has to be the minimum plot area. And FSI utilization less than total permissible for FSI is not allowed. This is a very funny again condition, funny or very dangerous. That they are saying that you have to use full FSI. Suppose you want to use 3, you cannot. You are using 1, you want only to double it. I want only 1 FSI, I want to build with 2 FSI, redevelop with 2 FSI. Not allowed. You have to redevelop with 4 FSI only. So it is your property. You are the owner. and they are dictating terms to you. So what he was telling was this, like they are now the owners and they are dictating to you, no, you should build so much. I don't want it, but you have to build. So that is the sort of situation. So that is also another dangerous.
Earlier it was permissible, now it is compulsory.
No, it is.
So normally FSI rules are permissible.
The rules was like TDR. You can buy, use or not to use. It's your option. But it is not your option now. It is made compulsory. So premium for additional FSI, again there is a discrepancy. In the draft DC rules, they said 1.25 times for, I mean, there are two areas here. Congested, which has the basic FSI of 2, and non-congested, which has basic FSI of 1. So for congested area, they are saying, as per draft DC rules, it's 1.5 times the rate of ready reckoner. Whatever is the land rate in the ready reckoner, 1.5 times, 25 times that will be the rate premium.
It is 10,000 rupees a square foot.
So 10,000, so it will be 12,500 will be per square foot will be the premium. You can imagine, it is the premium. After that, it will be whatever is the cost of the selling, that is different. And as per public notice, it is also 1.25 times for congested area. But for non-congested, there is a difference. As per the draft DC rules, it is 1.5 times for non-congested area. And as per public notice, it is 1.25 times. So again, there is a discrepancy.
Public notice overrules the DC rules.
Just hold on.
One more thing here, 0.2 hectares is the minimum plot area for 4 FSI. So nearly 45 to 50% of the plots around this would be less than 0.2 hectares.
No, maybe 90%. 90%.
So anyway, they can't get a 4 FSI.
Then amalgamate.
They have to amalgamate, no?
No, the owners are different. 7, 12 extra.
Amalgamation means owners are different.
Of course.
This is going to
They
pay penalty.
wanted to amalgamate.
See, there is a further part. This is the operative part again that comes up. Cess for non-utilization of 4 FSI. So as per draft DC rules, cess at the rate of 5% of ready reckoner rate will be charged extra if any plot land, see the terminology they use, if any plot land kept vacant after a period of 5 years from commencement of metro work. Here they are talking of metro work now. There was commencement of metro construction work.
Yeah.
Now here they are talking of metro work. So you are just start writing a letter, it becomes commencement of metro work. So again there is a ambiguity there. And they are saying that exact definition of is not, and meaning of, what is the meaning of plot land kept vacant? It's not defined. What is the meaning? There are no vacant plots and lands in any of this corridor. So what is the meaning of that? So it has some hidden meaning which will just come up when the implementation starts. So we have actually written to PMC a lot of letters to the commissioner, and finally we gave them a 5-page chart which every such point has been written, and said you have to explain this to people. That what is this? What is the meaning of this? What is the definition of this? What is this? But they are not simply replying. They are not.
This is like 500 rupees a square foot. You have to pay cess for not using 4 FSI.
This is per year or for
That's another thing. It is per year, but they are not mentioned it.
Yeah.
So because that's an open thing. They can say no, cess is always per year. It is not one time. Then plot vacant land means they can interpret it as FSI not utilized.
Yes, that's
Somebody who is paying 2,000 rupee property tax for a property built in 1950 will pay 2 lakhs of rupees.
Yes, that is
Per year.
Yes.
Maybe more also.
more on.
So they are forcing you to amalgamate the plot. You are for answer to your question. They are forcing you so that once you amalgamate the plot and use the 4 FSI, then only this cess will stop. So you decide what to do. You go to builder, you all come together, do whatever you want, and you amalgamate the plots and use the 4 FSI.
You
So
cannot
in case you
take
don't
this
amalgamate you cannot have a mandatory thing that you have to and the necessary to amalgamate.
You pay the tax.
You pay the
So
tax.
the building is already existing.
It doesn't matter. As per draft DC rule, if you don't use 4 FSI, you pay a tax.
Obviously existing building will not be for
So they say, no, but if
No.
4 FSI is not granted and the building still exists on the ground,
Yeah, doesn't matter.
it is not granted.
These are the issues. See, if you understand this, these are the issues we can challenge in a court of law. Right now, we discussing that is not going to happen because these things are going to be challenged. We are just telling you what are the issues.
Yeah.
Because people are definitely going to challenge these because all these are natural justice is also not there.
Yeah, of course not.
Whatever
So-
your presentation is here,
What?
whatever your presentation is, can you give the address where we can access it on the internet?
So I will just copy it on this and I will load it because there is a exhaustive is there on the slide share, but I will load it on slide share and then
I forwarded to
give you the link.
people looking at. I forwarded, no problem.
It's
No, no, she wants to know the corporation website, madam, or what do you
No,
want?
no, 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 no. I
His.
just want to have the copy of whatever.
But his is available on the net.
It's there, it's
Yeah, give it
available.
a-
Okay.
No, this is not there. This I prepared specifically
No, but
for
you have
today's
not-
this thing. Normally when I go to any such this thing, I make a special presentation.
All the information that we are giving now, we did not have it at all. So.
See, if
if I
you can
want to
give
send
your mail ID, I will try to
Yeah.
send it on mail.
We have a mail
Yeah,
ID.
Bhagata, everybody
But the
can take
thing
it.
is, it should be concise in 4 or 5 pages only, because then I can send it to more people.
No, no, okay, my mail ID,
All this is
ते पण संपलं नाही.
बराच वेळ झाला आता
तर ते हे जे डिस्क्रिपन्सीज आहेत म्हणजे आता याच्यात these are discrepancies and these regulations. आता तो one you are asking the question which supersedes what.
Yeah.
So in the draft DCR, there is a clause, these regulations shall supersede all DC rules and bylaws framed and sanctioned in the draft DC rules.
Yeah.
So actually it means the cess part will supersede, though it is not shown in public notice and it is our contention that they are purposely not shown.
Later.
So it is supposed to be in the document. This, you understand the MRTP Act, you cannot just, what comes next doesn't Public notice, they have purposely not mentioned this clause so that people will not react. So now they are saying, hey, kuch nahi problem, nahi mat use karo. So they are misleading and in a very bad way all the people. They have not mentioned it. So draft DC rules it exists. It has not been deleted. And the clause in the draft DC rules says these regulations shall supersede all DC rules and bylaws framed and sanctioned. So when the draft DC rules get approved, this thing will supersede all others. So it means it should mean draft DCR supersedes public notice. Then why has the public notice been issued? That's actually the question.
Yeah.
If that was still valid. So there is some hidden agenda which we as common citizens with our limited intelligence are unable to fathom. What is the hidden agenda behind this public notice? Because the public notice is for the 1987 DP, which is going to be defunct within another 1 year or so when this draft DP is going to get approved. So why the public notice? And I understand there is also another clause which they can, this thing that's stringent of the two.
It is.
So there is a clause another which is not appearing anywhere, but it's a general clause that in the previous regulation and this regulation, whichever is stringent becomes applicable.
Yes.
So it means that whatever is between the public notice and this, whatever is stringent will become applicable. So stringent clauses out of the both will get applicable.
Yeah. That is exactly sensible.
Yeah, so you can imagine. So whatever verse is there in the public notice for the citizens and whatever verse is in the draft DC, both will get into a very mixture of some sort of concoction and which will put you to kingdom come. I don't know. So we are talking of some pictures, actually only a few minutes now. So this is Delhi Metro. I have got these pictures from various other activists. So this Delhi Metro, you can see that this is the metro station, this is the existing building. You can see how close it is coming. See here, this is the metro station, this is the existing building. So at least it
For us, we are
existed.
giving better plans, 10 meters free.
So this is the under construction Mumbai Metro. So you can imagine the situation on Karve Road. And this is a metro station actually. You can imagine that non-stop. What will happen if such sort of a metro station comes
Now
up?
stop with the Z bridge star. That is the Madhumati Gude's exactly there.
So this is not a Photoshop this thing, it's a real
Real.
So this is how the shifting of the utilities we talked about. It's a massive job, and in fact, Mumbai Metro, the first corridor which was opened was elevated, and they came to the conclusion that it is not practical to have elevated metro. So they have decided that all future corridors in Mumbai will be underground. And the reasons for this was given. One of the major reasons they gave for the delay in Mumbai elevated metro was the shifting of the utilities.
Wow.
So it's such a major implication. You can understand that. So and in the traffic and all that. So they said that it is impractical. So now the second, which
You have a
was
statement like that, official statement?
yes,
Yes,
yes, sir. MMRD has made the official statement. They have taken a policy decision now. Future corridors all are underground. So actually the recently Bhumi Pujan happened. That's underground.
Kula Bandhari.
Earlier it was not underground. Now it is underground.
there is policy decision, is there applicable to?
Yeah, Bombay
all
policy.
projects?
Mumbai. City-wise decisions.
Nagpur will learn. Nagpur is all over it. Learn and different.
Yeah.
Ulta side.
Explain.
On the same problem comes.
See, these are the another buildings in Mumbai.
Battery संपली है मानो जो sleeping but
But याच्यात तुम्ही बघा इथे मेट्रो स्टेशन एक्झिस्टिंग बिल्डिंग मेट्रो स्टेशन so you can see how you can see here.
Less than 10 meters.
jump
So I said handshake distance, so probably less than handshake distance. See here, this is the in the DNA of Mumbai, I had specifically taken 6/10.
Oh, I know.
So they have said that they have clearly stated that fire safety norms and development control rules have been violated by Mumbai Metro. That has come up in this as a full page article, and they have with photographs they have proved that how it is. So you see these people, they are standing here. They are standing in their balcony, and this is the metro construction happening here. So they are just looking here what's happening.
Their life is going to be.
yeah
So this is how the situation is happening in Mumbai, which has much wider roads and much better situation than this. And this is Bangalore Metro. So this is on a narrow road, but Bangalore has much wider roads, but still issues. You can see how close that is coming to the petrol dump
they
here.
have ruined the MG road
See, this is a massive station construction blocking entire road width at Bangalore Metro. So actually, this is what is going to happen. You will not have any traffic at Nalsop when the construction starts. So how the
Only 5 years. Only 5 years.
Yeah, only 5 years.
Hopefully, only 5 years.
We are going to be here.
You know that they will finish the land acquisition in 5 years.
Exactly.
See, this is the column, metro column, and close up of the metro column and see the cranes and gantry cranes and all that, how you move. So this construction is happening.
Getting to this here.
This is happening on the road.
what do you think that will be yeah
I have been stuck for 3 hours.
So this is barricading, how that barricading happens and how much of road remains in the barricading, how much of road, how the buildings are cut. So this is the pillar is coming, so say sometimes and the turning, as I said, it has to deviate from the center. So here it has deviated and the main pillar has come very close to the building because it may be
So
difficult
it's
to
very
turn.
likely to have cracks later on.
It will.
With the pile, having the pile inside rock, it is rock.
Yes, yes,
The
it will.
building will get cracks.
So see how the buildings are cut and how that this thing is going. And so what I was saying is same type of elevated metro has been approved by PMC for Pune, and one can imagine what the situation narrow congested Pune roads would be once the metro construction begins and continues for years.
And having their metro there.
And so what needs to be done? So actually, we discussed all this. So government has India has already advised that Pune Metro DPR be reworked on realistic basis with deliberation on the issues. However, PMC has ignored that. So actually, what is needed is this independent appraisal. Citizens be given the opportunity to present and explain their suggestions and objections to the expert committee. Study for techno-economic evaluation of alternatives. When I say alternatives, underground metro or whatever other alternatives. Metro DPR to be reworked accordingly, and final decision about metro should only be taken on the basis of above independent studies and in consultation with the public. That is what is needed in the present situation. So that brings my presentation.
Very nice.
Okay, I have any questions? We can take for 5 minutes. 6:30 is the time.
Yeah. Sorry, you want to say
So
something?
6:30, so we have 10 minutes, so you can ask questions.
I have one basic question.
Let's do one by one. Let's do one by
You
one.
can moderate.
Why nobody talks about Calcutta railway metro?
Nobody talks.
It was done 15 years before
See,
this.
1988 and all that. That's okay. It's working.
And
It's
it was all underground.
It is all underground.
Yeah,
The main important point is it was underground.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So I mean the answer is there.
Yeah.
That's why they are not talking about it.
That's why they are talking. See, yeah.
it's working fine
Isn't the underground cost 4-5 times more
No,
than?
no,
Three times.
1.5.
No, I think it was 3 times the minimum cost for underground.
no
Right.
See, basically, you see, there are 2 issues here. That cost has to be actually decided by a proper study and a economic
Because
analysis.
most cities, if you study on the net, most cities the cost is 4-5 times.
No, it is not 4-5 times.
Not 4-5
We cannot compare it that way. Basically, it is never 4-5 times. We have got even Mumbai Metro now, it is not 4-5 times.
If you see on the net.
It's not 4-5 times, but where you are comparing, you have got the cost of same corridor elevated and same corridor
you are
underground.
comparing two different cities at different times
No, the same corridor, a secondary issue. Basic issue is whether what suits this particular profile of the city and particular corridor. That is important. Like you have a house and you know that certain things are suited there, you buy only those things. A lot of things are available in the market. Why don't you go and buy everything in the whatever is the market? You have to see your house, whatever is your flat, your room, your furniture has to be conformed to your house, isn't it? It cannot conform just because market double size is available or half size is available. Same logic applies here. City, if we consider as our house, then what suits our house should come in. So next thing, just let me complete. Next thing is, if you have something in the market which is unaffordable for you, then you say that I don't want it because it's not affordable. So I will survive with whatever I'm having and I will manage with that. So that is the option available. So, but you will not bring something which causes devastation in your house, isn't it? Just because it is cheaper. Same logic applies here. So if suppose the metro is so unaffordable, don't go for it. Go for other options like she says tram, BRT, a lot of options are there. Go for them. Monorail, a lot of options are there cheaper than BRT, cheaper than metro. Go for them, those options which are affordable to you. Why are you insisting for this? That's the issue. So cost I think is a secondary thing. Basically you want something. So what suits you, you have to decide. If it is affordable, you buy or then go for the next 2-3 searches, whatever available, which are affordable. So I think this talk about cost is absolutely irrational and illogical as far as this particular
So, can be less, but it has to be stated right. 250 and 350 is unrealistic. Difference is there.
See, $40 million, Mr.
I'm
Inamdar,
not saying-
what she says has some point into it.
See, my point is not cost at all. I am saying cost, I am not bothered. If you want to make a metro, the only option is underground.
You can say don't take the metro at all.
Correct, take a LRT.
Say that, no.
Go for an LRT option if it is feasible.
But you have not seen the presentation of us. We have said all the anarchy has to be followed. That was the first slide. If you want to go to that slide, let's go.
So this is, no, Mr. Just
So
one
means we have already told them that you go as per the hierarchy.
So, no. Objection today, if you see prima facie, is we don't want overhead, we want underground.
It's not that. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's not that. You please understand. We are talking of viability also. We are talking of low and so
You want one by one, only one voice, please. This is like Arnab Goswami.
Prashant, you should control and one attack.
See, objection is not only to elevated and underground. We have considered so many factors where we are talking of basic viability. If the basic break-even is not being achieved in 2031, we have said there is a question mark on the route itself. So objection is to the route, objection is to the type. So both objections are there. So if you want to have a route which is giving you at least some break-even point, at least the break-even point should be available today. Even 2031 it is not getting available. So important point is it will suffer massive operational losses. Those you will have to shell out from your pocket. Nobody is going to.
So you are accepting metro, but LRT study feasibility is not an option at all now.
It is an option. We have said you do the identity.
Because see what has happened now, this is where the confusion started. That's what I told Bhanu when he circulated.
You are not.
Even know about underground.
You are not.
Just a minute.
Just your point is answered here. Study for techno-economic evaluation of alternatives. What is the meaning of this?
Precisely. So what Bhanu circulated, that is where the confusion starts.
What?
See, the first point was underground and elevated, which means that we are assuming the fact that we want a metro. The only question is above, on the surface, or underground. Number one.
When?
Yeah. So if it is LRT, this question would never have been come. This point, which is perfectly right, and I think this is what we are also trying to make an attempt to do for an ESR. I don't know if you are aware about it. In this part of Panchavati or this Ward 33. We ourselves wanted to prepare a report, so for whatever reasons it is stuck up. So this is a very important point, that an independent appraisal by the technical experts. So does this mean that you, me or anyone can do this evaluation, techno-commercial financial evaluation, which is, I don't think so, as easy as what we are trying to do for the ESR, which we have been working upon for the last 1 year. So this is a very important point, and this was my basic question. At the end of the day, the most important points to take home is a feasibility, techno, commercial, financial, logistical feasibility report. Now, how to do it, who to do it, who to fund it, because this what we also made an attempt to do the ESR. I'm not saying that it has gone down the drain. We had a lot of data onto it.
Compare the two.
No. What I mean is the feasibility report. Who is going to do the feasibility report? Who is going to fund the feasibility report? Are we going to contact Arthur Anderson, KPMG or any other technical expert?
Understand this has to be done with PMC because this will go to the channels to the approval of the.
PMC has also done an environmental study and we are scrapping it.
That's why what we are saying is by independent. It is not PMC. PMC is to appoint some independent experts. In Pune, you are having experts. Are you aware? Pune has people who are working for foreign metro companies.
Yes, railway.
So why don't we as NGOs, you as NGOs, collect this and finance? We should ready to do this by
You are not aware of what has happened in the 5 years.
Yeah,
The expert-
more and more. Can we take this offline? There are some questions.
Yes.
And then take this offline. You had some questions.
I mean, I understand the advantages of underground overground. My only question is, see, like in Boston, when they did a similar underground tunnel, they actually did computer analysis. Like when you blast through it, it creates shock waves. What effect it would have on the ground? They actually did computer analysis, and then they proved, and then they basically decided how to go about it. Would that have to be done here?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
Absolutely.
because our buildings are not that tall, is that?
Basically,
No, but you still have to do it.
there is a ground clearance above, meaning the clearance above the tunnel is minimum 12 meters. So you have to understand one thing. It's not very close to the surface. It is 12 meters below the ground. That is the height.
No, but in Boston,
And
the
then-
buildings are tall.
No, Boston, that's why the Boston case may be different because there are skyscrapers. Here there are no skyscrapers.
So we want to
We
do
should do
that.
it now.
Yeah, no, but they do the geological analysis that has to be done on the rock. And secondly, there is no blasting as such. There is a tunnel boring machine.
Just goes
The
down.
boring machine is lowered into the at that depth and then continues to is a horizontal boring machine. So there is no blasting.
There's no cut and cover. Calcutta was cut and cover.
Calcutta original was cut and cover.
Cut and cover.
Because that was steel was not available at that time.
Soft side.
Tunnel boring machine, the technology was not available.
Okay. Does that answer your question? Satish, are you clear on that?
I have one question. If you see today's growth actually has been driven by IT, and there are some very concentrated areas where the growth is happening. For example, Hinjewadi. Daily, maybe 2
Lakhs of
3 lakh
people.
people travel there and come back to the city. And only the new areas which are having most of the people traveling to them.
Yeah.
So why is not Hinjewadi considered at all in this whole
Phase 2 was there. Phase 2 injury is there. Phase 1 they have taken the city, core city and all, and what they consider as more.
Why it is not a priority? Because most of
We
the
can't answer
How can you answer
that.
that?
You know, we can't answer that. Because
it has to be logically, it has to be right.
See, basically there are other issues. Hinjewadi is not viable in that sense. I'll tell you why. Hinjewadi only has limited peak hour traffic. So actually you make a metro and then say morning, evening. In between what the metro does, there is no traffic. So there is a capital cost. So bus route is more suitable because then you just don't run the bus. But here you are having an entire construction done and that construction is useful only for maybe 4 hours in a day.
But still, during that period, there is a lot of traffic jam. I do
I'm talking of viability. Viability issue is there, I agree. It's not a question.
No, but that traffic jam will not be solved by metro only. That's the point.
There are if you are in Hinjewadi, you know what are the issues there. There are issues, wrong roads, widths are there, encroachments are there, proper development has not happened.
I will tell you what is the reason. People come from long way, like I am going from Panchwadi, it's 18 kilometers for me. Okay, so it's not practically possible for me on two-wheeler daily because it will start any multiple health problems.
No, but it doesn't have to be metro, I'm saying.
That's why people are coming with car. Those who
But there is a
We are not saying we don't use car.
There are other kinds of mass
There are other kinds of mass transport other than metro, that's what I'm saying. Not necessarily metro. It's not metro or car. There is efficient bus service.
We have to have a context-specific multi-modal solution. And so that is we can do that.
Buses, even cars, will help. If you see on that road, each car has one person.
Car is a solution.
Even car
Where there is a public transport. Recently I read that some buses.
Yes, they started buses.
So these are the solutions which can try immediately. So like company doesn't have a bus, like Infosys, big companies have buses, smaller companies not, but 10 companies can come together and hire a bus.
In the US, they have a separate lane if you are carpooling.
They have a website for carpooling, lot of things are happening, but
If you are
basically.
carpooling, they have a separate.
Any more questions? Anybody?
Yeah, so at the end of the day, what do you propose? What shall we do? How shall we proceed? What do you suggest?
See, you have to insist on this, and how you have to do it, everyone has to find his own way. Now elections are coming, you can use the election platform.
No, that is so okay, but preparing a report, how do you expect, what shall we do, how we should
I mean,
proceed?
you insist with PMC, you are aware that in the past 2-3 years, there is not a single voice against Metro. There are only a few people, handful, only 2-3 people who are just talking about it. You start talking, howling, and talk to your corporators, talk to your MLAs, go and pester the commissioner.
No, how do you start work on the independent report?
I'll start making a demand first. There is no demand.
It has been endorsed by PMC, they cannot do their own report.
Not yet, yes, sir, which we
No,
prepare.
it is independent.
This is the highly technological report. We cannot
Yeah, I know